They're lengthening as the late afternoon sun slides behind the hills in the west, and we continue action in the NHRA Winston Finals at Pomona. For Kenny Bernstein, a season championship streak is intact. Now he seeks his fourth event win of the year.
Crew all looks calm and collected, just a general routine maintenance, getting ready for the final. They have lane choice. They feel that everything is in order. However, you saw the smoke come out of John Force's car in the last round. Austin Coyle has elected to install a new engine. He feels this race is too important to take a chance on a repair job.
A fact that just accentuates the rivalry between John Force and Kenny Bernstein. They'll meet shortly. Now the pro stock finalists are on the line. Warren Johnson goes from the far lane. His opponent, Morris Johnson Jr. from the near side.
Warren Johnson has said publicly that he planned to be the first pro stock driver to beat Bob Glidden's board. Well, the Johnson did it all right. As we saw earlier, it was the Johnson in the black car, Morris Jr. from Virginia.
Both men have one event win this year. It was Warren Johnson at Atlanta back in April. Johnson Jr. did it at Montreal in mid-season.
Taking a little time here, both drivers moving in very carefully. They bring the RPMs up. A beautiful start.
On the far side, Warren Johnson has the advantage, and Warren Johnson down the track has the victory over Morris Johnson. 7:43 for Warren, 7:52 for Morris. 187 miles per hour for the winner.
Warren Johnson was unable to catch Bob Glidden in the season points chase, but this win helped salve those wounds a little bit. On the starting line, Morris Johnson Jr. was not up to his normal par, as Warren gave him a little driving lesson out of the gate, but it was still a real good race until Morris's car moved around just a little bit in the middle of the course, giving the win to Warren.
And Steve is with the winner.
Warren Johnson, winner of the finals pro stock title. A nice job.
Finally, Steve. Thank you very much.
You had a handle on this event from the very beginning. You were the low qualifier.
Well, not really. You remember the first two qualifying passes, we weren't even in the field. And then we kind of started to come around and step on a little bit. We were doing a little testing.
You missed your shot at Bob Glidden. You wanted that.
Well, that's secondary. Winning the race is primary. And I really have to thank AC Delco Oldsmobile for sticking with us this year. And I think we're looking for a great future with him in the next 2 years.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Warren Johnson, number 2 in the world of pro stock drag racing.
Career win number 18 for Warren Johnson. Don Garlitz now has an overview on the Top Fuel finals.
Top Fuel has been the battle of the young lions. And both these cars, Darrell Gwynn and Dennis Forcell, have been very consistent and are almost evenly matched. So the question is going to be, who is going to be the most alert on the starting line? Who's going to cut that tree just right? Well, Gwynn might have a little advantage. He's got a little bit more driving experience in Top Fuel than Forcell, but got to remember, Forcell is young and hungry.
Dennis Forcell looking to cap his rookie season in Top Fuel with his first career victory. His second appearance in the finals. He goes against a man, however, who's been brilliant at this racetrack. Gwynn has won the finals here the last 2 years running.
He also has won a Winter Nationals title on the same pavement for a total of 3 victories. He likes his place.
This is the second time that these two have met in the finals. The earlier occasion was at the Mid-South Nationals in Memphis. First time for Forcell to be in a final round going against the seasoned Gwynn. The result? Gwynn got away quickly, carried it through the line to get the victory. Now, earlier today, Steve talked with Forcell.
This crew has a special purpose as they finish the engine in Dennis Forcell's dragster. They have raced Darrell Gwynn before, earlier this season in Memphis, Tennessee, and Dennis Forcell was defeated by that red car. Will it be different today, Dennis?
Well, we're certainly going to do our best to make it different. We figure it's our turn, and so we're going out there to try to make it our turn.
You know the history of Darrell on this racetrack. He's almost unbeatable here.
Yeah, he certainly has been lucky here, and it's you keep thinking that when a guy's doing real well at a track, sometime it has to turn in somebody else's favor.
Can he outdrive him?
I think we can drive with him. I mean, he's a darn good driver, and the car's running good, and our car's running good. I think it'll be a heck of a race.
Interesting perspective from Dennis Forcell, who's in the far or left-hand lane. And this is a surprise, Don Garlitz, because Gwynn, it indicated with lane choice, he was going to work from that side of the track.
He's won every one of the previous events on this facility out of the far lane. But it does show a little maturity. Perhaps he watched too many cars smoke the tires in that far lane and decided that he better stay where he'd been winning today.
One his father, Jerry Gwynn, I think may have influenced that choice. They are off. The long nitro flames looking at the wings. Dennis Forsell was right. It was a heck of a drag race, but he came up on the losing end. Darrell Gwynn, his fourth title at Pomona, a 5:13 to a 5:14 on the starting line. Gary Gerould with Jerry Gwynn.
Jerry, what a way to cap a terrific season. That's 6 of them now. Is it any more special than any of the others?
They're all special, believe me, and we've been fighting that thing all day, and we thought it'd step up a little bit, but it whatever it takes to win, that's what we had to do.
The consistency has been startling.
Well, thanks to the whole crew. I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than the whole crew did a hell of a job.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This was one beautiful drag race, the kind of race that the fans pay the money to see. Watch the cars leave the line. Gwynn took a very slight starting line advantage with the wheels in the air, the clutch dust coming out of the back end of it. He didn't want to spin those tires.
And Steve is now with a young man who has to be happy.
Did you know you had won that drag race, Darrell Gwynn, 5:13 to a 5:14?
Yeah, I think I left a little bit ahead of him, and I was on the button pretty hard from about halfway on. So I figured if I was ahead of him at half track, he wasn't going to drive around me.
What a racetrack this has been for you. Your third, fourth World Finals title here?
That's my third World Finals title and my fourth time winning this race. We've won the Winter Nationals before here, too.
Congratulations. Here comes the team. Celebrate.
Yeah.
What a record of success this team has enjoyed at Pomona. Meanwhile, John Force has a fresh motor. Will it be enough to beat Kenny Bernstein? We'll find out in a moment. At Pomona, Kenny Bernstein, who earlier in the day locked up a 4th consecutive Winston championship, matching the record of Don Prudhomme in the 70s, preparing to go against John Force. Earlier, Steve Evans had a few moments to spend with Force, reflecting on this showdown.
John, this team is going all out to beat Kenny Bernstein. Changing engines. It's not points any longer, and it's not money knowing you.
It's, this team's like a family, you know, like we got right here. You work all year long. And I'll shoot this straight. I've always set my goals on Don Prudhomme. He was the only guy to be world champ 4 years in a row. And now it's really hectic because now we got Kenny Bernstein. Now there's another champ, another guy that's done what Snake's done. Scares me. It's not getting easier. It's getting tougher.
And in John's arms, you saw daughter Brittany, one of 3 lovely daughters in the Force household. Kenny Bernstein, the champion in the near lane. John Force, the contender. Bernstein wants to beat Force. He wouldn't give him the satisfaction of knowing that he could handle the champ. It's a beautiful start. An incredible drag race. Bernstein smokes the tires. John Force has won it. 5:37, 274 miles per hour. Kenny Bernstein slows to a 5:50 on the starting line as Gary Gerould with Austin.
Austin, wow, what did you do? You made the engine change, you pulled it all together.
Well, we fixed what was wrong with it like we know how to do, and fortunately we had just barely enough time. And
how much of an apprehension or concern coming in?
Well, if you follow us, you know that we usually run pretty good right out of the box when we get to the racetrack. So essentially we just put a fresh car together for this round, just like we started out here a few days ago, and she run just like it did a few days ago.
Terrific.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let's check on the reaction now of the winner, John Force.
John Force has been telling us for a long time about a dream he has regularly about beating Kenny Bernstein in a final round. It's happened, John. 5:37, John Force is the finals champion.
My home.
Hometown crowd. I can hear him cheering from here.
What'd you run?
5:37, it doesn't matter.
Old crazy old Austin Coyle. Oh, terrible Chi-Town Austin Coyle. That whole team. I never seen such a thrashing fighting going on between. To sit here and Bernstein be the champ, I told Coyle, you know what it means? If we can just come out here and whip this guy.
Whip the best.
Whip the best, okay? Him or Snake. We talked about it earlier, right? And I don't know why. It left. It was out there. He was out the window. And this old heap hung on in the left lane. The lanes were good. I want to thank my sponsors, naturally. I mean, all the people. Castro, Jolly Rancher, the Wax Shop. But I tell you what else. Couldn't be here without my wife, my kids, NHRA, Wally Parks. I love all of you guys.
All right, John Force. And here comes the crew for maybe the hardest working man to be a professional drag racer we have ever encountered.
And now, one of the celebrations that makes sports so very special. For Don Garlitz and Steve Evans, I'm Gary Gerould saying so long from Pomona.